I'm sure you're exactly where I was, thinking, oh, I'm an introvert, I'm born like this, there's nothing I can do about it. But this is wrong. I'll quickly tell you a story about how I was an extrovert and then went to an introvert and then back to an extrovert again. Back in year 8, it was a rough period to me because that was the start of COVID lockdown, so that meant I had no people to talk to and I felt pretty lonely at that point. From having no contact with people and being in that bad position, I was very shy, very introverted person. I wouldn't speak to anyone really, except the people I knew before, some really good friends I knew from primary school. And if I was to talk to you, I'll have to kind of warm up towards you, and it would take me like 6 months to actually have a conversation with you if you were in my class, for example. And in year 9, I'm like, oh, I want to go on self-improvement. I want to be popular and I want to be in a popular friend group. I'm like, these people are a popular friend group. So over year 9, I'm talking to people, actually improving myself. I still think of myself as an introvert, so I'm still kind of shy. In woodwork, I made a friend and he was a part of this popular friend group that I wanted to be a part of. So eventually I end up squeezing my way into their friend group, but I only talk to this one person. Everyone else I would say absolutely nothing to, wouldn't even look at them. If they looked at me, I'd quickly just dart my head away. So if I wasn't talking to that person, I was just listening and wouldn't speak. Now eventually, I don't really remember exactly why, but he got kicked out of the friend group for doing something. So this is year 10, and for weeks I wouldn't say a word, and if I did, it was like a big celebration, like, what, Liam said something, he said yes. He actually put in some information in towards this actual conversation. So I'm like, I need to improve my social skills. I want to be an extrovert. I eventually, using this stuff that I'll tell you later in the video, I've become an extrovert, not only speaking to the people in my friend group, but become a popular person in my school. I would consider myself to have a bunch of friends. I would speak to a bunch of people in different classes. So if you implement this stuff, you will be an extrovert as well. Now, an extrovert is someone that likes talking to people, someone that's not shy. An introvert is someone who's shy, doesn't really like talking to people, especially people they don't know. Like I said before, if you're born an introvert or an extrovert, it's not something you're plagued with. It's not like a curse where you can't change it. So you need to understand that you can change it, and once you realize that you can change it and believe that you can change it and take actions towards it, you will see a change. It is just a term that's given to people that are either shy or confident talking to people. What I'm about to say might sound a little bit cliche, but it's cliche because it works. So what you need to do is actually just practice. Now, I will give you some tips on how to practice easier and build your way up. So what I first did is I'm like, I want to be more social with people. I'm like, I'm shy and scared to talk to people that I don't really know, don't really talk to. So what did I do? So I have a VR, and what I did with it, I hopped on a chat room kind of thing in my VR, talked to people, and kind of built up that confidence with myself. So I'm like, I'm able to talk to these people pretty confidently, and then I got a confidence boost out of it. I only did it once. I got a confidence boost out of it and like, oh, this is a lot easier than I remember. It's not that bad. But if you are a little bit more nervous, you can keep on going into them, keep on gradually building up your confidence. And the good thing about this is, if you were to mess up, let's say you actually stutter in your sentences, or you completely mess up, you say a bad word, they laugh at you. No worries, just go into another room, go somewhere else. Because once you take the headset off, they're never going to see you again. Instead of being all nervous, you'll be more relaxed and you can build up those skills. Now, the next step you can use if you really need to build up some more confidence, you can skip this if you feel alright and you want to go to the next step. If you feel like I've kind of conquered the VR one where people can't see you and you want to actually see people, well, you can go online and search up for chat rooms where you can use your camera and talk to people, which is also good because you're never going to see them again. Those people, they don't know where you live, but you're never going to see them again, so it's kind of relaxing. So if you stuff up, it's completely fine like the one before. Okay, now next step is, it's going to be a big step from talking online to people, because you're now going to be talking to actual people in real life. So there's two ways that you can do with this next step. You can go into a big city or a close town that has a big population, or you could do it in your local area if your local area has a big population. Because if your local area has 2 families and a population of 15, you won't really get that many good repetitions in, and it's kind of hard to practice because you'll be seeing the same people. Compared to in the city, you can go from one person to the next to the next to the next. So what you want to do is you want to go up to a person, ask for directions. You don't actually need to know where this McDonald's or KFC or Starbucks, whatever it is. You don't actually need the directions. Just go up and just say, excuse me, do you know where the nearest chemist is, for example? And then the person will be like, oh yeah, it's over this way. Now, some people will just walk on, that's perfectly fine. They've got busy stuff to do, they don't want to talk to you. That's perfectly fine, just move on to the next one. Now, obviously, once you've done some repetitions of saying excuse me and looking for the directions, you can try to add more onto that conversation. Or you can just end it by saying, thank you very much, I've been looking around here for the past 10 minutes. Now, obviously, it's going to take a little bit to go from just saying hello to a person and building your way up. So once you feel more confident, you can do that. Now, if you don't want to do those kind of things, or you don't want to go into the city, there's a step that you can do before that, but it's not as effective. So what you could do is, this is if you're in school, or you go to a social sport, you go to university, high school, or you go to a boxing gym, or somewhere where it's a social place. School's really a good spot to build up confidence. Now, obviously it depends. If you're in a university lecture, it's probably not a good spot because everyone's trying to be quiet and learn. But if you're in high school, when you're in science class, you can ask the person next to you, be like, hey, is water H2O? Something like that. Just a little bit by little bit, you increase your conversations. Now, don't increase it with just the one person, because if you go from not talking to this person to being best friends with this person, they're going to be like, what the hell is wrong with this dude, and feel weird. So do it with other people and don't crank it up so you're like buddy best friend within a week. They will think you're a bit weird. And also, don't be super needy about talking to this person, because it just comes off bad. If you're doing group projects, it's a lot easier to speak to people because they obviously want your input in this project. And also, if you're feeling a little bit like you don't want to talk, there'll be other people that will be talking compared to if it was just a one-on-one conversation. And in super extreme cases, let's say you're super antisocial and you don't go to any social events, you don't want to go into the city or talk to people in real life, there are definitely social clubs for people that are really antisocial. I haven't gone to any, but there definitely are places like that you could probably find online. Now, here's the biggest boost I had of confidence. I took a personality test, and that personality test said I was an extrovert. So I'm like, oh, I must be an extrovert then. So I believed I was an extrovert, which gave me a massive boost of confidence. Now, let's say you take a personality test and it says you're an introvert. That's perfectly fine. What you need to do is just build up more confidence. Or you should change your self-image to being an extrovert, which is kind of a little bit hard, but if you can't really do that, just build up slowly confidence by practicing, like I said before. Now, this is really important. You need to review over your entire day. So when you're laying in bed about to go to sleep, just think over every single social interaction and think, did I did good in that social interaction? What would I have done better? Should I have said that joke? It didn't really land that well. What could I have said instead? Just do a full review over every single social interaction. You give yourself feedback. You think, oh, I shouldn't have done this. And eventually it will help and you'll get better at social interactions. Now, while you're trying to become an extrovert, it does help to learn social skills. Now, while you're learning to be an extrovert, you should be learning about social skills as well. Now, you can buy an online course about social skills, which is pretty good, but you don't necessarily need to. You can just search up on YouTube and there will be plenty of information there. So if you're learning about being an extrovert and social skills at the same time, it's just going to help you and also help you in your conversations. Because if you're good at social skills, you're less likely to get rejected, which is not going to tank your confidence. You should also take an active approach to talk to more people every day. These people can be anyone. It can be your co-workers, your schoolmates. It could even be a person that you meet on a train. Now, it doesn't have to be a fully fledged conversation. It doesn't have to be. It could just be a simple hi or how are you, for example. Now, this obviously builds up your confidence even more. And then you could also have a conversation with them if you would like. You should be practicing your social skills and using them at the same time. If you don't use your social skills, you lose them. Short-term pain for long-term gain.